God, the Upper Murray, how good is it? Such a nice part of the world. I could live down here easily. So, my camp trip last night didn't really go to plan. It absolutely pissed down rain. So I ended up catching up with my cousins and my uncle who was staying in Wawa. So I just bloody rolled out on their floor, which I'm not too worried about. I've tested all my camping gear before. This trip's mainly just about riding with the weight and getting used to it. So yeah, no, bit of a change of plans, but I thought I'd jump on the bike this morning and go down and have a look at where I was going to camp, which is down here somewhere, I think. I actually have no idea. I have to try and see. But yeah, no, it's a nice spot, bit dry today. I don't think it's predicted to rain really. But yeah, obviously we'll see. Some of those clouds out there look like a little bit how you're going, but that's alright. We'll go down and see what's going on. So this place, there's a couple of reserves you can go to. There's a couple of ways you can get down to the river to go camping. Yeah, and I think the place I'm looking for is called Neil's Bend or Neil's Reserve or something. So yeah, don't know what it'll be like, but apparently it's signpost, so we'll see. I haven't got the maps on, so yeah, not sure. What's that say? Roadside mailbox. That could be it down there. Neil's Bend, that is it down there. Righto. Well, I've gone past it, so we'll go down here and turn around somewhere. Maybe I'll just, nope, pothole. Let me just pull over here. Fuck these brakes. Man, you get used to bloody road bike brakes, and you just think, how can anyone ever ride a fucking dirt bike? So I turned around, missed the turn. Let's go suss out Neil's Bend. One thing I will say is, you know, I knew that these bloody bags were going to be a little bit annoying, but I mean they really are in the way when you're shifting. So I'm going to have to come up with a new way to do this or adjust it, which is fine. This is what the whole purpose of having a shakedown run is. You know, so I'm not halfway across Australia and think, geez, that's annoying. Here we are here. Might be able to have a coffee down here. What's this say? Murray River Reserve, Neil's Bend. Soft sand, 4-wheel drive recommended. Interesting. Righto. Limbs may fall, strong currents. A few people down here. How you going? How you going? Yeah, right. Doesn't look like a bad little spot down here. Jeez, there's a heap of park campers down here. busy down here. So there's a heap of people on the other side too. Yeah, it's busy as. Fuck, sand everywhere. Marilla Pond Mountain National Park. Did I remember, like, when we were, oh geez, it was probably 20 years ago, maybe not quite. My dad, my uncle and I were driving. I can't remember, I was too young, I can't remember where it was, but I know that it was Burrowa. Maybe we tried to go up there or get down to the river, I can't remember, but it was around this region. We're driving down this dirt road and this animal came out in front of us, like scampering on like all fours. It's almost like a freaking bear. Holy shit, there's people everywhere down there. Bloody hell, it's Tent City. Anyway, yeah, this bear thing comes screaming out across the road, and all three of us are just like, what the hell was that? And this was probably before like feral pigs and everything were like really prevalent in this sort of area. But I just remember being like, oh yeah, I'll never forget it. It was massive, like it was bigger than a dog, but it did sort of slope down like its back kind of thing, like it had long front legs or arms, and it kind of scurried along the ground. Man, I remember seeing that thing just being like, fuck that, let's get out of here. And I think we did. I think we just all turned around and head back home. None of us knew what it was. We were like, what the hell was that? It's obviously before dash cams and stuff, like, but far out. And I remember being like, I'm never camping here in my life. And well, here we are. I suppose I'm not really camping this trip. Oh, how good. You know, you couldn't ask for it to be any better, really. Such a nice part of the world. The Upper Murray, if you get the chance, definitely come down and suss it out, because I tell you what, it's awesome. Awesome fishing, awesome camping. Corryong's a nice place that's just down the road here, probably won't go there today. Waller's nice, you know, they got the general store there. What's this? Jim Newman Lookout. 300 metres. Might go there. I think I've been here before. I think I came here last time. This might be a good spot to do a gear rundown. Oh yeah, I've been here. Oh, there's campers down there too. How'd you get down there? Oh, let's spot you. Alright, so thought I'd give you a bit of a rundown on the bike, and I'm here at, yeah, some lookout, can't remember what it's called. It's a big moth over there, butterfly thing, but yeah, here it is, the CRF450L, as it will sit for the Simpson Desert. So, start from the bottom, I suppose. Got some Dunlop D606s. Not much more to say about the old Dunlop D606s. I think they're pretty well proven. Got a whole new set that'll go on like next week before I go. these have done, you know, maybe nearly 3,000 Ks. I think I'll get a set that'll last the trip. Yeah, we'll see how they go. So yeah, obviously I've got to get some rim locks in there. So old mate's going to do that. What else? I've got a Zeta adjustable lowering link down there. So that's been good because fit my short ass on the bike. And you might be able to see it in there. The spring is a 56 Newton one from Technic Motorsport. So just to help with the gear, I'm 73 kilos. So yeah, I'm actually probably a pretty good weight for the factory springs. But once you add gear and stuff, obviously you need a little bit more, and I'm going to wind up the preload just a little bit more on that, just to give a little bit more support. It is sitting a little bit low in the rear, and I've got a bit more weight to put on it yet. So yeah, anyway, fuel tank, Nomad fuel tank, 20 litres. Not a bad bit of kit. Not much more to say other than it takes 20 litres. One thing I will say is you get to about here and you will run out if you're on a flat road. So you do have to sort of like throttle on to kind of wash the fuel back up into the pickup, which is, no, you can't really see it, but the pickup's like in the middle down there, like it's about this level, the fuel pickup. So you kind of got to splash the fuel back up into it. It's not a big problem. If you're off-road, you don't even need to worry about it. It's just if you're on-road where that becomes a bit of an issue, like where you're long straight sections and you know, you're not getting the fuel splashed around for going over bumps or up hills or anything like that. But that's just something to be aware of. The other thing was, I don't know, the fit and finish, was that not too bad? I think it could be better, to be fair. Like, it's a bit hard to see, but it just didn't seem quite symmetrical when I had it on there. But, yeah, look, I'm happy with it. There was no other option. Came with the sick radiator guards that are sturdy as. I've dropped it a handful of times on this side. And on the other side there you can see the scratches, and it hasn't, you know, it's held up pretty well. So look, happy with the tank. What else? Bark busters. Oh, well, I actually do have another one I've got to put on here. But I broke that when I dropped my bike last time. I just got to trim the handle off. Got the Zeta levers, bendy levers, because again, when I dropped it before I had the bark busters, I snapped off the factory ones. What else? Andy Straps tank bags. These are awesome. This is the first time I've used them. Yeah, they do get in the way of your knees. I was just saying, I think I need to like work out a way how to just mount them a little bit better, but I think it's manageable the way it is. The main one that's really annoying is the is where your shifter goes, because your knee sits there and kind of makes it hard to shift. So I might Velcro it, or I don't know. I've only put one strap on it. I definitely haven't mounted them correctly, but you know, this is what we're here for, just to try it out. So the two Krieger OS 18 bags, 18 litres a side, waterproof, awesome bit of kit. You know, with the OS base on here. Yeah, can't fault them really. I dropped this bike in the in the Yukon River as I was trying to ride through it. And yeah, that was full of gear, and this bag was fully submerged and nothing got wet. So I can't complain about that. I mean, look, I'm pretty happy with that for sure. So they're awesome bags. They're a bit spenny, but you know, I think they're worth it for the price. You know, you can get the Nelson rig ones, like the 20 litre, which I was going to get. You know, they're a bit cheaper, but I thought, look, you know, these ones look pretty cool, and I definitely don't regret buying them, put it that way. Awesome quality. Onto the back, now under here, I've got a Skaggs rear rack with a Rotopax mount, which leads us to the Rotopax. So that's a 7.5 litre, like a 2-gallon Rotopax. Got a giant loop, 3-gallon bladder, which for the trip will just go over the top here, or probably in there, depending on how I want to do it. Got a tool bag, which struggling to work out where to put it because it ended up being pretty heavy. Probably not the best to have the tyre levers poking out like that, but you know, it is what it is. And oh man, that's cool. Old cruiser. New chain and sprockets. So new sprocket on the rear, but it was still a 51 tooth, and I went a 14 tooth on the front. So yeah, 14 tooth on the front. Look, it's good on the road. If I was doing lots of off-road, which I am on my trip, but you know, you got to get there first, and that's just as important. I don't know, I'd probably just leave the stock gearing. You know, I don't think going one up on the front is going to do it any favours off-road, but who knows? We'll, you know, we'll find out. I think the stock gearing Honda Stroke hit the nail on the head with that. Really, you still cruise at 100 k's an hour, and you can still go off-road. You know, but I think on a big trip like mine, where it's going to be 7,000 kilometres or whatever it is, 6,500 k's, having just dropped that RPM on the highway will do a lot to try and save just the components a little bit. You know, just so it's not so stressed the whole time. And at least you can do the speed limit, you know what I mean, without worrying too much. What else? Concept seat. So that's the Comfort Low. I just bought the cover and foam kit and stapled it all together. I think I did a pretty good job, to be fair. Bit hard to see there. Yeah, so that's about it. The other thing I did to the bike was install the Athena Get ECU with the map switch, Wi-Fi, and the traction control. Yeah, that completely transformed the bike. Best thing you could buy for this bike would be a new ECU, and I don't think it matters if you get a Vortex or an AIM or a Get. All of them are going to make the bike heaps better than stock. Just depends what you want from that. I did a lot of research, I did a lot of reading, spoke to a few people on Facebook and stuff about who had what ECU and what they thought of it. And there's not too much information sort of out there really about it. But I thought the Get was going to be the best option because it wasn't that much more expensive than the other two models. Like the AIM is probably a little bit cheaper, but you get 5 maps, but like only 2 of them are usable, right? Because you got to, they give you race exhaust maps, they give you stock exhaust maps. There's no point having 5 maps if you can only use 2 of them, right? So I thought, well, I'm getting 2 maps with this, I'm getting 2 maps with that. The Vortex has a few more maps, but it's like real old school tech, like it's just sort of set and forget. And, some people love that. And look, you can do that with this too. You could just buy the ECU, plug it in, and that's it. And then you just be happy, right? Like no map switch, no nothing. Vortex, you can do that. The AIM, you can do that. We're splitting hairs here. It just depends whatever you want, what flavour of ECU you want. I personally was like, if I'm going to spend all this money, I might as well get something that's going to be, is going to be the most technically advanced, and I think the AIM technically has a better CPU and all that sort of stuff, but, I was like, look, I want to get a good ECU. I like the idea with the traction control where you can dial that. I liked the 2 map switch. I liked the fact that the reviews that I said had plenty of power, and it certainly does. It just pulls all the way to redline. Yeah, I mean, I can't really fault it. The Get ECU. So yeah, I'd recommend it for sure. If you've got the money, I'd get it. But like anything, they're expensive. But I think it's almost a necessary thing you need to buy. I think if you buy one of these bikes, I think in your head you have to have that budget. You have to say, right, I'm going to buy a CRF450L. It might cost me 8 or 9 grand or 10 or however much it is. I don't know what the market's like now. But you've got to be like, it's going to cost me an extra 2 grand to get it running properly. Simple as that. And I've left the stock exhaust, so the gets tuned with the stock exhaust. I told Takamoto that I've got the stock exhaust, so they did the map for the stock exhaust. If I change it, I can send it back and they'll update it for free. I just have to ship it over there, which isn't a big deal. But you know, look, stock exhaust is fine. It gets super hot. That's probably my biggest complaint. It's nice and quiet. You don't hear it. Doesn't annoy you. When you're riding through these hills and doing all that sort of stuff, you kind of don't want anything that's going to be too offensively loud because people just get the shits. You get the shits. You get angry yourself when stuff's like so loud in your ear the whole time. I've always had loud bikes though. I will get a pipe for it. Just not for this trip because, well, money's a finite resource, isn't it? So we've got to draw the line in the sand somewhere and say, right, I'm not spending any more money. You know, and it's probably only an extra $1,000 or whatever. But you know what? That's fuel and food for the trip, isn't it? Well, partial the way there. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to head back home. So hopefully we get some nice scenery, and I'll chat to you then.